"100% of my job is being a link to the community. There's not a day or an hour goes past where there isn't something happening that I either contact the community or they contact me, or I'm involved with my stakeholders. All of us want to live in a society where we can go about our business and do our business, and we don't want people to offend against you, and we don't want victims.
His philosophy is do one job, do it properly, so he doesn't pressure us to move on to the next job before we finish the first one. So everybody in our community gets our full attention for the time that they need it before we're moving on to the next person.
It's easy to say it's just a day's work, but not for Brando. He's really exceptional, dedicated, and does his duty to the highest degree every day, day in, day out.
I think Senior Son of Brando goes above and beyond. There's been a couple of examples where I can think of where we've asked for backup at a job, and the first car to rock up, the boss steps out. Not often that you have a senior sergeant backing you up on a job in your patch.
He's the local sheriff, he's somebody here, and he takes that responsibility very seriously. He also takes developing his people very serious and building capability.
Brando is an amazing person. I actually met him in tragic circumstances when my husband Ian went missing.
You could see just in the way he carried himself that he was taking that job home. He genuinely cared about what he was doing.
Earlier in this year, I was the mission controller for a land search for Mr. Ian Collett. He was a man in his 60s with cognitive impairment. He was a walker and went walking from his home one day and never returned. It was the most comprehensive and complex search I've ever been involved in 30 years of policing. A large group of people, not only police but SES and members of the public, the whole community pulled together.
I actually called him ethically noble because that's what I really think of him. He's so respectful, he has wonderful manners, and he's so dedicated to the work that he does.
Of course, it didn't end up with us finding Ian alive, but I consider myself lucky enough to say that I was the first responder when Ian was found on the side of the road.
The other thing that I found that was really touching was Brando and some of his colleagues attended my husband's funeral, and it was just such an honour to see them there. Yeah.
The best part of working in Merredin or working as a police officer is that it's more of an extension of my family. The camaraderie that we have, the fact that we can joke around together, we've got each other's backs, and you know that they're always going to look out for you. That's something very important that you can't really find outside of the police.
I think what makes Ben an exceptional officer is just his commitment to the community. He's a very committed dad, he's a very committed husband, and that displays itself as just being a very committed member of the community as well.
Part of the reason why Ben relates well to young people is that he's a religious man, his family is, and so he has worked with youth quite extensively outside of work, so in the church environment.
I think I'm driven to work with the youth more, mainly because they are the future. So the stuff that we're going to teach the kids now who are 14, 15, 16, they're our future leaders in the area.
Ben's very committed to the town, just because he's working here at the cadet unit, but he also helps out at the high school. He's around town doing different projects with kids that have got problems, so he's just an outstanding young man that's helping out with the youth of Merredin.
He's only been in Merredin for about a year now, and I feel like Merredin has changed hugely.
I developed a proposal to build some demo derby cars, which we've got here. And the kids and I, we worked together on these cars for just under 2 months, getting them ready for the demo derby, which we went and raced at down in Calabarin. Leading up to the project versus the time the project was running, we dropped crimes and crime reported by over 80%.
As a result of some of the projects that Ben has done in the community, there's been a significant increase in the perception of police in the community.
One of the boys is moving to a different school so he can pursue a better career. We've got another one who's just got into the army and is looking to go as a mechanic in the army as an apprentice. So that's directly as a result of our project that we've run.
Ben coming in to the situation helped me out a lot and figured out what I wanted to be in life and get my job and all that, yeah.
If I have 2 years here as a minimum or a maximum of 4, what can I do to make a community remember that we're here for them, not only at our time at work, but we can do things for them outside of work to bring us together as a community.
He encourages his peers, both senior and junior, to get ready and get out there because their job is to help the community. That's Nath, and that's his movements day in, day out.
I know Nathan as he's a coach of our Kimberley Spirit football program, working with talented 12 to 16-year-olds from Broome and surrounding communities like Bidjadanga and up the peninsula as well.
We want good people and not just good footballers, and that was a motto that I tried to bring this year. We recognised not only their participation in school, but obviously that was a driving contributor into the fact that they were selected in not only the squad at the start of the year, but to participate in the carnival at the end of the year.
Most of the young people that he deals with within the football club go on to increased education and become stronger and leading members within their own peer group within the community.
Nathan, with his experience, has been able to help with that holistic development better probably than any other community member could coming into that role.
What I've really seen prosper over the last 2 years in particular is that social conscience that he has really playing out in his day-to-day police work.
I found Nathan particularly to be extremely engaging and passionate, and his drive for wanting to give something back to the community and also bridging the gap with the local youth.
Receiving this nomination to me meant a lot. There's probably one photo from my graduation which means the most to me, and it was my granddad. He passed away in the middle of this year, which would have been probably my favourite part of being able to tell him.